Scentland, the land of scent. Well, hello and welcome. Chris back with another fragrance review, and of course, this time again, it's time to deep dive into the distant, dark, good old world of long discontinued fragrances. Long discontinued but never forgotten. There are some tremendous masterpieces that have been produced in the past, then have been discontinued, as I said. But my aim is to bring them back to your attention and somehow try to relive in the old glory of many of these discontinued or under the radar fragrances. And such a fragrance is in the spotlight today, released by the very precious house of Rochas back in 1980. And it's called Macassar. Macassar. As you can notice, this is an aftershave bottle. It's very difficult to get this fragrance, right? The eau de toilette the bottle looks the same, even the juice color. I used the eau de toilette back in the early part of 1995, if I'm not mistaken. It was still available at that time. And so Rochas, the house itself, is for me a special one among the designers, because they always seem to make sure, to put my English right, that if they release something, that has two hands and 2 feet, right? And personality, appeal, but not mass appeal, not on all costs, right? So you could see, looking back in those years, that they released some great fragrances. I mean, like Rochas Men, for example. Here I have a mini. Or Rochas Eau de Rochas pour Homme, or Homme. You can see I use it, one of the best. It's the benchmark for a semi or formal citrus fragrance. But also Aquaman, and of course Rochas Louis. In 2003 they released Rochas Louis, which was an amazing fragrance. And this one is in that line, fits in that line perfectly. It has been discontinued, but not because it's a bad fragrance. It's because it's not dated either. It is such a complex masterpiece that I think the fragrance, the normal fragrance market, just did not appreciate it at the time. It's interesting because partially it belongs to the heavy hitter category of that time. You know, you had Dior Jules, you had Oscar de la Renta pour Louis, you had Fendi Uomo, you had KL Homme, and all these heavy hitters, some of which are still being produced today. And Macassar came out around that time, yet it's for several aspects, this is a similar fragrance, but at the same time it's totally different. Why? Because the noses Pellegrino and Maunas did a very good job when blending this into what I call is a special category that I put this on. It's a adventurous green aromatic fragrance to me. I know such a category does not exist. I just created it. But this fragrance smells adventurous green aromatic. How does it achieve that? I have the aftershave on here, and actually the performance of the aftershave is putting some of today's eau de toilette releases back in the corner, crying and begging for mercy, right? It's a joke. Don't get me started, wow. Fantastic. Green. You are greeted with a tremendous green, adventurous smell. I cannot put it in any other word. It's so complex that it's mouth-watering. And so what you get at the beginning is, how does it do the green job? It does so with pine and moss as well. vetiver as well, some woodiness, sandalwood maybe. There is some flowery aspects, maybe jasmine, carnation. There's definitely some leafiness in this, and also a good dash of leather, a very sophisticated, kind of raw, sophisticated leather. Again, adventurous, and not the boring leather, not the safe play leather, yet not the pushy, here I am, I'm leather. And it's supposed to have coconut in it and lemon, lime. I get the freshness of the lemon aspect, or maybe bergamot as well. The coconut I don't get directly, but there is an exotic part in this adventurous category of this fragrance that maybe is due to the coconut in there. And if I would need to find I don't like to compare fragrances, right? But since this is so rare and so hard to get, I want you to be able to imagine how, at least what I mean in this with this category, aromatic, adventurous, green, exotic, right? Where this belongs. It's somehow the younger brother or the older brother, because in time this came out earlier, of Alain Delon's Iquitos. But the main difference with Iquitos is there is, at least I don't detect any rose in here, which makes Iquitos this seductively charming fragrance, but it has this lime, coconut, moss, pine stuff going on. Same here. This is a bit more natural and less punchy smelling. Yet it's very heavy. Don't get me wrong. Very heavy fragrance, typical of its age and its time. But it has this relation with Alain Delon's Iquitos, and further good news is Alain Delon's Iquitos has been discontinued, so it's hard to get. But this fragrance has also a distant relationship, or is distantly related to a fragrance that's still being produced today. One of my favorite fragrances, actually, from the niche category, Fougere Bengal from Parfum d'Empire. I don't own a bottle at the moment. I had the small 50 ml. They stopped to produce that. Now they have the big one, which is quite expensive. But they share, again, this adventurous, aromatic, green, exotic vibe, okay? Fougere Bengal is a bit more foody due to its curry note and tobacco note. There's no tobacco in here, and no rose in here either. But overall, these three fragrances that I have mentioned are belonging to this category, which I just made up, the adventurous, aromatic, green, exotic stuff, right? But it describes this fragrance the best. Age-wise, yeah, it's not really worth to put it in any such category, because I don't think that people would seek this out, to wear it. There's very few. I think this review will get probably about 300 views, in total. So age-wise, if you already make the effort to look for this fragrance, then your age doesn't matter. You will wear this because you think along those lines of Iquitos, of Fougere Bengal, of this adventurous, green, aromatic, exotic stuff. So I cannot put this fragrance into any age category. And back when it was released, every second fragrance was in this Fougere green category, which was worn by the gentleman back in the time. So I don't put any age to this at all, because it stands above that category. It stands above. It plays in a different league. This is actually, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best green aromatic fougere type. It's a fougere, right? What I call adventurous, it really means this fougere thing, but it's much more than just a classic lavender fougere, right? This is why I want to take it out of this fougere, simple fougere barbershop stuff, because it's much more than that. This is just it's just so extremely special that if you are able to get it, and if you like this category and you like the description that I just done, try to make the effort to get Macassar, because even in its aftershave version, it will shine on you. And it's one of those masterpieces of the 80s that you know are just jaw-droppingly good. I don't know the prices to it; must be high, I think, at this stage. But you will get something that is it's so lush green, fougere, aromatic, adventurous, exotic that if you like Iquitos or fougere Bengal, you will love this. And if you like this category in general, you will love this again. So it was time for Macassar to shine out there in the community on YouTube. And let's continue with digging out those masterpieces of the past, because there's plenty still around, and plenty to be mentioned. And this is what I'm dedicated to do. So I leave the rest to the other guys and girls out there, and I'll keep on digging up these little hidden gems of the past. Thanks very much. That was Chris, and I'll be back with more very soon. Take care, and bye bye.